Hey there, good morning foxes. Today we're going to do what we call illuminated letter. So you are going to pick a letter of your choice. Some of you guys have done this for me already. So this ought to be a little easy assignment if you have had art this year. But I'm going to show you real quickly. L is the first letter of my name, so what I have chosen is to do an illuminated letter. So I've got my L in here. I've got a border. I've got 4 motifs, which we call squares that go into the corners. We've got repetitive designs from the top and the bottom and the side, and then we have a subject matter. The subject matter in this particular image is lavender. So L for lavender. It does not have to match with the first, with your letter, but it can. So it is totally up to you, but you are doing whatever letter you would like. And I am doing these very small for demo purposes. So this is just a little 3 by 3.5. So I'm going to go ahead and get you guys started so we don't take up a whole lot of your time. But I have the finished one, so I thought this would help you. And then I have the one that I'm working on. So what I'm going to do is just eyeball this, but I'm going to need a pencil to start with. And I am going to start by moving these out the way. And I'm going to begin by creating a straight edge border around, and I'm trying to just make sure that it is the same distance. I am not measuring it. I am what we call eyeballing it, which means I'm trying to make it equally the same size all the way around, and I'm making sure that I have the 4 corners for the motifs. And then again, I am going to double that line, and this is going to be a border within a border. Most illuminated manuscripts started with a letter that was within a square or rectangular format, and it always kind of had a border. We're going to kind of keep that rule going. Alright, so I've got my square. This is a little bit difficult for you guys to see. I'm going to see if I can darken this up a little, and then I'm going to zoom in some. Alright, cool. So hopefully that helped. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my letter. I'm going to create an L. You can do whatever shape letter you want to. And then you're going to make it fat, which means you're going to make it larger. And you want to break the border. So go outside of your box, so to speak. And then I'm going to just curl it, make it a little bit groovy looking. This is up to your own interpretation. And then remember our area where we have overlapping. So I am going to have one section of the L overlap the other. So this would be in front of, this would be behind. And then I'm going to begin by putting my illustration on here. And I am just creating this area of lavender stalks. And lavender, I looked it up. You know, Google Images is awesome. And it shows you exactly what lavender looks like. So I did that first. So I did my preliminary research. So you guys can do that as well. And then I'm going to just kind of map in where I want to have my lavender. And I might want to have some curlicues. And lavender's a really beautiful thing. I'm actually creating a garden right now, and I would love to try to grow some herbs, including lavender. So I've got my L in there, I've got my illustration for lavender, and then the next thing you could do would be to decorate. So whatever is in one of these corners, we call these motifs, you're going to repeat the same thing. It could be a seashell, it could be a flower, it could be anything you want, but I have chosen to put these little 4-leaf clovers. And then you're going to do design here and design here. So I'm going to do a very simple design because a lot of times these get really busy or detailed, which means that they can look cluttered, but it's kind of part of the style. Medieval manuscripts, were sometimes pretty ornate. So being cluttered in this case, not necessarily a bad thing. It is a style of artwork from times past. Okay, so now what I've done is I've got my basis in there, and from here you would begin to outline. And I'm just going to show you quickly. You're just going to take your Sharpie or your marker and you're going to outline around your whole image. And then once you finish outlining around your whole image, you're going to go back in, guys, and you are going to erase your pencil lines. And once you erase your pencil lines, and I would obviously outline this in completion, but I'm just doing this to save you time. And then you would erase all of your pencil lines, and then you would begin coloring in with the marker or markers of your choice to create your illuminated image. So number 1 would be your sketch. Number 2 would be your outlining with your Sharpie. Number 3 would be your erasing, and number 4 would be your final icing on the cake, which would be your outlining and your coloring in with your markers or whatever else you may have available. And if you don't have colored supplies, you can simply use black and white for this. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for listening, Foxes, and I wish you happy illuminated manuscripting.